For earlier. Dozens of people are reported to have been killed in a bomb attack on a military building in the city of Aden in southern Yemen. Officials said a suicide bomber drove a car into the headquarters of a local pro-government militia, the Popular Resistance, which helped drive Houthi rebels out of Aden last year. A civil conflict in Yemen escalated after Shia Houthi rebels took over the capital Sana'a in January last year. Well, with me with more on this is Karim Gohary from BBC Arabic. So what's known about the details of the attack at this stage?
Well, at this stage we know that a suicide bomber drove a car, as you mentioned, into the headquarters of the Popular Resistance in Aden. And so far we know from officials and from doctors there that about 60 people, at least 60, have been killed and that there are scores others injured. Now, these people who were killed were actually recruits, so they were going to volunteer to join this resistance movement. And the thing about this movement is that it played a very, very important role in aiding the internationally backed government of President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi in regaining control of the very strategic port city of Aden last year. And so that's where the significance of an attack like this comes from.
And the so-called Islamic State group is saying it did it? It
did, yes. According to their self-proclaimed styled kind of media organization online, that they've already claimed responsibility for it, and via Twitter as well they've also claimed responsibility for that attack. It's not the first time that Islamic State has carried out certain attacks in Yemen. They do from time to time carry out strategic attacks in certain locations in Yemen. They're starting to gain more ground in the country because of the fact that there's a lot of pressure against them in places where they're more traditionally stronger, like in Syria or in Iraq, for example. But again, some armed groups as well might carry out attacks and then they claim that they are affiliates to Islamic State, or Islamic State builds on that kind of, incident that happens.
And what of the wider picture in the fighting in Yemen? Where do things stand on that at the moment?
Well, the situation is still ongoing. I mean, the conflict is still ongoing throughout the country. There's a lot of bombardment in the north, obviously, where is the normal stronghold of the Houthi rebels. Still, however, it's in every area. So we've seen in Sada, we've seen in Taiz, we've seen in Aden, and also there's a little bit of gain for pro-government forces to the east of the capital. Of course, people may know that the Houthis are in control of the capital city, and that the conflict is between the Houthi rebels primarily and supporters of the former president Ali Abdullah Saleh and the current president and the Saudi-led Arab coalition that are trying to get rid of the Houthis. There is a peace process supposedly going on, but it fell through for several times in the past, and the last time it did fall through was earlier this month. There's a push to get it back going. Positive reactions from both sides. However, obviously, they're trying to gain more ground before willing to sit down again.
OK. Karim, thank you very much indeed for that. Karim Gohary of